Hi, I'm Tristram Shapiro. I played Annie in this episode.
I'm Alison Brie. I directed this episode.
Ken Jung.
Okay, let's get serious.
Monica Patrick.
Dan Harmon. Monica, get your shit together. This is Monica's first commentary.
I was trying to think of a
She's
joke
doing
to say because they let out, and then I thought, oh no.
Tristram set us all off joking, and then we had
I'm
all
sorry, I figured I was in a safe
jokesters.
room.
I thought this
guess
was
not.
going to be serious.
So Tristram, when you work with other British people, when
Yes.
when it's a John Oliver,
Yes.
you guys must have hidden like class issues
There is,
that we
and-
don't understand as Americans. We're like, oh, they're both British. They're like Benny Hill.
Unfortunately for me, I'm sort of the lowest of the English class system, and John is sits at the highest.
I bet that's dry British wit. I bet he's from Kensingshire, which is like
That's right,
your
I'm from
people call a
Kensingshire.
bucket of dirt, a bucket of Queen's knickers.
Well, no, John's. It's actually what's really nice. And being out here in the West Coast in Los Angeles is really nice. Is you get to talk about England, and
And
because
everybody's
everybody
fascinated by it.
Yeah, well, I know I don't talk to. I've made the early decision to not talk to you about England because you do something like that. And it offends me.
You thought I was being sarcastic, but
Yeah.
really,
See, they don't get it. Our sarcasm is on the right side of the road. But yeah, anyways.
Anyway, that's enough English.
British
chat.
people. British people, what are they thinking? British people, why do they do what they do? All of... I was going to keep continuing talking about British people.
No, I think that's right.
I was going to do like a Don Rickles, no, but seriously, British people are inspired a lot of what we do on Community. Simon Pegg, Edgar Wright.
You definitely should do that. I think you should definitely do that.
I mean, it's true. Community rips off more British television than anything. I mean,
Now that little
Wait,
that
that
little
little-
bird was British actually.
that little bird was attached to a string, and can I say that the string was being
Humanely.
held by Annie's boobs? I'm not even joking. The
yeah.
monkey.
Really? I didn't know
Annie's boobs, the monkey, was on the shoulder of the animal trainer guy, like working the bird
Yeah.
in the scene. And we were like, why is Annie's boobs here?
Can I just
She's
say
just
that
like,
working the bird is not in any way a metaphor for anything?
Nope.
do you know I just got that animal practice? Animal practice. Remember the show with the monkey?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Animal practice. Animal practice.
Anna malpractice.
I just got that.
Yeah, I don't think they meant to do that.
So this is our Game of Thrones spoiler runner. Period.
This is an episode in which I really bonded with Jonathan Banks. We had a lot of fun.
Jerry Minor here in the
There's a lot of, let's see,
lot of cameos.
Robert Slater at blindman20_20 says, this episode had a cast of thousands. Who were you most surprised that you were able to get?
Can you get me a drill, a couple screws, and a bullet? Okay, I'll try it. Bye. If you want to hang a bulletin board, you need to get a work order.
Well, I guess Robert Patrick showing up.
I was going to say,
right, yeah.
he was my favorite. I mean,
That was the weirdest because it was the most effortless. It was just sort of like I didn't. I mean,
Really?
Well, it was just we didn't like play a big game of like, okay, we can get this person, we can't get this person. It was just sort of like Robert Patrick, and then he was
was
there.
like, yeah, all
He was
right.
great. He was perfect.
He's so cool. It was really cool sitting in that scene between, him and Jonathan Banks, because they're just these both like
Yeah.
badass guys that do a lot of drama, and
Yeah.
they're taking the scene so seriously, and I was just in the middle being like, okay. I felt like I was on another show.
Right.
Let's blow off steam, and it's train.
It was.
I really have a deep fondness for this episode. If you agree with me that this is a pretty good episode and that it doesn't qualify as a so-called conceptual episode,
I do agree.
I could do a bunch of these for season 6. Maybe we could all be on the same page. This is relatively. It wasn't a huge pain in the ass to shoot, was it?
No, not at all.
To deal with any of
The original idea, I don't know how much it came through. The original idea was sort of like we were going for a Sorkin-esque thing with Annie and Hickey's story. That it was. We wanted to do a kind of like it wasn't. We didn't really start with Sorkin. We didn't want to do anything specific. We wanted to do something that was like in the loop, a British property. Like just the sort of like how did McKenna put it? The corridors of power. And just making it about something absurdly minuscule. But
Yeah, I think part of it was we were trying to get new couches we'd broken a bunch of couches, and we had to get new couches, and they were like, power guys in the couch repository on the
In
Paramount.
real life, you grow
the community
couches?
writers room needed new furniture. The Paramount Furniture Warehouse. Yes, Chris and I went to get new couches for the guys, and there was a guy in the Paramount Furniture Warehouse. And there were all these blue stickers on all the good chairs. And we were like, hey, can we have this one? No. That one's for Mikey or whatever. It was kind of like you just get this weird, not Sopranos vibe, but like just very like there was a kingdom over there, and there was a guy laying on one of the nicest couches whose job was to hand out couches, and he had a system of his own design with gaffer tape and color coded things, and you knew that whoever gets the nice couch, it's not the highest rated show. It's not the show. It's whoever greases his palms, right? It's like it's not favor for a favor. Maybe it's not money, but. Anyways, meanwhile, there's a TV show going on. But yeah, we were laughing about that idea. Yeah, that there could be a power structure.
We broke enough couches that this
Kumail.
became an issue.
Yeah, just from sleeping.
Just from like sitting down heavily.
You can break a couch from sleeping.
Custodial mixers.
But your daughter, soccer.
Daughter soccer. Yes.
There's our dear friend Kumail Nanjiani.
So great in Silicon Valley.
Yes.
So good.
About to appear is Nathan Fillion. Everyone was very excited about. And someone on Twitter asked, but I don't have it in front of me, why wasn't Nathan Fillion a bigger part of the episode?
Yeah, I mean,
Because he has another job.
Well, it is a shame when
I think.
you write like a little character, and then the stunt casting process begins after you write the thing.
Right.
It's rarely like if you're talking about John Goodman's going to come in, then that's called like a seasonal arc, or you get a character, you get an actor for a bunch of episodes. So now you are tailoring a character for them. But cameos are often, they do feel like a waste of talent because you have a little role that you can stunt cast. Then you say, Nathan Fillion, can you come in for an hour? He can.
Which is why he can, because
Right.
it's such a quick thing. Well, and also Nathan is a big fan of the show. They shoot right across the street. So I feel like he, for years, has been like, let me know when there's a little something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And also we wanted to, we thought, well, this role could come back. So we, it's a very generic role.
The
He's
pervy.
the handsome, strapping, intimidating, shady, custodial politician.
I mean, there could be the custodial election episode.
Yeah.
Custodial.
And props to Nathan because he did bring that role up because not only was it too small, but it also wasn't very funny. Like just handed to him, and then he made that face at the end of his line, and it was like, okay,
Perfect.
that's sometimes actors are important.
Thanks,
They
Dan.
make little faces and things.
With their faces and.
I will say there's
Take it.
Speaking of that factor, though, I don't know if we've ever talked about this in previous commentaries, but it's so funny how we will sit in the writer's room and we break stories, so we try to figure out why something's happening and how to make it clear to the audience that it's happening. And then you can never predict what it is, but like a moment like this, for instance, like this speech was 20 minutes long that you're doing, and then it ends up getting cut down to 5 seconds because because the actor makes everything so clear immediately with an eyebrow. Like Alison will get laughs. Literally, when we were doing the Meow Meow Beans episode, I was pointing out like one of my favorite moments. She's not even doing anything. Britta says like stick it in your butt or whatever, and then it cuts to Alison and she's getting a laugh like. Almost there's nothing moving on her face, but she's like using her face to get a laugh.
Thanks, Dan.
Actors are weird.
Making me
Actors are
feel very good.
This may be my favorite.
This is the
thing
greatest
I've ever done as an actor.
Yeah,
I'm serious because I don't cry on cue. I'm not good at it, and
it was
this was the first time I've
knocked us out of
ever.
the park. This is so fucking
It was
awesome.
honestly.
Your process was very moving, Ken.
Oh, I just couldn't
It was,
stop.
seriously.
I just couldn't stop crying the whole
I
time.
hope this doesn't offend you, Ken, but
No,
like, do you recognize any of the, like, you had emailed somebody at
I
one
know,
point with
I know.
concerns about
I know,
Chang,
I know.
which are valid concerns because I never handle this character right. And you emailed about the thing, and I took
I know.
actual like dialogue,
I
put
know.
it in, but it wasn't to make fun of you. It was like
No,
it
it
was
was not.
it was to give you something to
No,
believe
well,
in.
I was,
Real.
you know what? That's kind of what moved me. I think that day was, I can't believe I'm reading some of these words that
Right.
were parsed out, and I was really moved by on the day. Just we were ready to go for the artificial tears that I usually do, and then I don't know. I just kind of thought of that email, and I was just really moved by it, and I
See,
just
that's-
could not.
I mean,
I just could not. I don't know. It just became like unintentionally the greatest.
I feel like
moment.
that's how actors and writers should work together. Like,
Yeah.
I'm saying this half jokingly. That's what Chevy never got. Like the fact that he would he would say the craziest shit about his complaints about the scripts.
Right.
And they'd be like, this is the character. This is so
Right,
amazing.
right.
And then the actor has to be able to go, you're right.
Right.
I know how this guy feels. Like,
Right. I totally agree. To have that connection and then to be moved by the dialogue. I think that day was just, I never expected that, but it was, honestly, probably the greatest day of my acting career.
Blocking a site, they just need to submit the URL and
Okay, what do you want?
There's Paget Brewster.
Paget
she's
Brewster
great.
is so great. And someone asked, I see if I can find it. Oh, at Doc Rimbo says, this is one of my favorite episodes, probably because you get so intense with the everything. Oh, wait, that's not the question. That was just a compliment. But someone else did ask, about whether or not that was a running joke. And my response is, yes, hello. Have you been watching the season? I think it started with Chang saying that he masturbates everywhere.
The writers.
Everywhere. It's
The
one of my
writers,
favorite running jokes that we've ever done. And then Britta in a later episode says every something else, but it's the same
everyone,
tone.
yeah.
Everyone.
The writers started putting, I don't know who did it first, a writer putting it in parentheticals. The parenthetical just says
Gary Oldman.
Gary Oldman in The Professional. That's the parenthetical in the script. So, and then they started, you send jokes to the writer's room and they punch them up and they give you alts and then they come back to me and then I circle the ones I like. So I just started circling every time they would do that. So it just became this runner of every...
The best. It's one of my favorite jokes to do in life because I love that movie and how intense
It's
he is
such a
in
weird
that
moment because you
scene.
can't tell if it's good acting or bad acting and you're just
it's a
riveted.
Nick Cage moment and you're kind of
I wish we would have committed to it. I wish two things. Number one, that I wouldn't have mitigated the take that Gillian did in the book episode because I actually toned it down.
There was another
because
one,
nothing had aired yet, and I was worried that joke wouldn't. It was people are going to be so confused, and Gillian had takes that were like, but I went with a more subdued one that was kind of even weirder, like she was holding back a sneeze. I also wish that we had just made it so that every single character in the ensemble at one point in the 13 had said some word that begins with every.
I know. Season 6, we got to keep it going.
Yeah. Yeah. Look for it on Hulu.
I do love, this is one of my favorite episodes to shoot this season, also because it's that return to ambitious Annie that we had talked about, before we started the season, and you see, and the character is much more that way this whole season. But this is one of the quintessential episodes where she's like, I have a mission, I'm gonna get this thing done, and that's the old I don't know.
Yeah.
The old Annie.
This bear down for midterms concept was, I think come up with a couple nights before the shoot. We just decided at one point, okay, so let's focus on this Annie Hickey thing, and then the Abed deaf girl thing, the spoiler thing. And we just kind of and then Yvette and Joel and Ken, the leftover people from this episode, they're going to be decorating for the dance, and we'll think of it later. And it was agonizing. We didn't know what the hell to do, and it was Eric Summers really was the hero of that story because he just kind of blurted out this. I don't know. I can't remember.
He recognized that you can make a bear look like a dog.
Right.
Really? That was Eric, a fat
That
dog.
was Eric.
But he
said, a bear looks like it can look like a fat dog.
But
'Cause
he
we
kind
needed to
of
solve
improvised
that.
it too, didn't it? Though wasn't he kind of in a burst of he's just I don't know. It's and then he just kind of I don't know. It's he just he wants bears everywhere, and then it's there was a bear attack, and he's like I don't know. Let's put ears on him and make them fat dogs.
Nice.
We needed
Savant.
We needed to come up with a dance that could be a problem, but wouldn't be a problem that actually would happen in real life. We thought. And then.
Oh yeah. We were trying to come up with the equivalent of a school shooting, the equivalent of something that's
not too.
You could accidentally be too sooned.
The trains that you kind of dismiss in the beginning, that was an actual, that was an idea for a while. It was but then we were oh, there's going to be a train derailment. And then we can't air the episode.
Yeah, if I've learned anything, you can count on some violent act in America to happen every 3 weeks. And if your comedy references violence, you could get your episode pulled. You could get your comedy sketch killed violently.
parking guy that lights his cigars on student rights.
So Monica, Monica Patrick, this is her first year on Community this year. And I remember her was this the beginning of this episode that was the Dean Camp thing?
Yeah, it was they.
We were trying to think of a reason why the dean would come into the cold open and ask them to do all these tasks.
Okay, Dan introduces this idea and then leaves to take a nap. And so does Chris. And so now it's late. There are like 5 people and they're not here to defend themselves right now. And they start running with Dean Camp. And Andy Bobber is at the keyboard and he is done like 20 pages of Dean Camp cold open. And I thought I was losing my mind.
And there was a point. I remember I was sitting at the keyboard though, and we were like still talking about Dean Camp, and because so the idea was that we felt like we needed the dean to have a reason to come in and ask for the bulletin board to be fixed and all this stuff originally. Like it turns out not an issue at all. But like we were so hung up. And so we were like, I think he just came back from Dean Camp, and there was all this dialogue about how he's coming back from Dean Camp, and the other deans were making fun of him.
He needs to impress his camp friends.
Because his school's so fucked up. And it was so what about Dean Camp? How does Dean Camp work? Well, maybe it was his part. Then what is it? And then at one point, like 3 a.m., Monica Patrick, new young writer working on Community the first time, it's just like the look on her face is like, it's like, I don't think we need to keep talking about Dean Camp. So, like set it through this.
Need to go to Dean Camp.
That's what snapped us out of it finally. We were in this spell, you know.
We break everyone.
It's like when you say a word 1,000 times and you don't. If you break a story long enough, like you start forgetting that gravity doesn't have to be explained. We should talk about why the apple falls. No, Newton did that. This spoiler story was kind of built around this moment. Just the idea that I don't know, that Britta had to do something. What's reprehensible? Like what is the definition of the most malicious form of Game of Thrones spoiler?
And this girl is great. She's on another show where she also plays a deaf girl, I think. Katie.
One trick pony.
Leclerc.
When's she gonna play someone that can hear? That's what I want to know. Stop rewarding these people for.
All I'll say is she didn't hear my direction.
Whoa.
No, that's just a joke. That was a
true.
terrible joke.
Great.
She was wonderful.
And everybody had a big crush on her.
Joke.
Oh, did they?
Yes.
She's very cute.
And by everyone, I mean this guy. No.
And then this, of course, is people always ask. I think the answer is obvious. Did you bring Rachel back because that you liked her from season 4? Well, Dadoy. I mean, yes.
Yeah, it's Brie Larson. She's amazing.
More to the point that everybody else liked her, and then I was like, oh, Brie Larson's great. I really like. She's one of those actors. Our cast is full of them, but like bringing in a guest star that's like. I don't know. She just lifts everything up.
And she just clicks with everybody from the get-go. Yeah.
And it's nice to see Abed have a love interest finally now that he can because his boyfriend has gone. I don't know. Rachel is a nice.
I also like the idea of it not being that big a deal because I've had a lot of relationships and I'm out of my goddamn mind and none of my relationships are. They don't make my life jump the shark. They become part of how I'm crazy, you know? And seeing what Abed's like in a relationship, it doesn't have to be about, oh my God, Abed's going to be in a relationship. It can just be, this is what he's like in one. This would be the challenge. And then you can move on. Because it's part of TV. You can't get this actor back. She's got too much to do.
Not anymore. Yeah.
So he's got a girlfriend in one episode, and they don't break up at the end of it, and so he's ostensibly still dating her, and that's how dating is.
And she came back for one other episode.
Yeah, which was amazing. I've always wanted to use this song for something.
I was just going to say, I love that we got this song in this. Was it difficult to get? I'm like, that we got this song.
It's just a certain amount of money. There was a point where it was on the chopping block just because of the amount of money that we had to spend on music cues and stuff. But we really had this was sort of inspired by kind of 70s cinema, this moment. Like, so it's a Man versus the System, kind of a Al Pacino Justice for All, or just like these movies in the 70s where it's like, it just ends with an event. It doesn't end with the shark blowing up. It doesn't end with the Death Star blowing up. You don't know what the filmmaker wants you to think about anything. He just wants to show you people hitting a tipping point of something, and then and then it's over, and you just pull back on a society, and that's how things work. I don't know. I was really proud of it. If I hadn't written that fucking D&D episode, the last.
You really hated this year's D&D episode.
Well, no, I hated what it did to our schedule. It was a stupid hubris. I'm Abed in that beginning when he says like, "Oh, sequel's hard to do, so this will be my opportunity to prove I'm better than everybody." That was me, except I didn't. And what I did do is throw the schedule off. So the last 2 episodes are not as nuanced as and character driven as this.
This was a really fun tag.
Oh yeah.
I'm finally being quiet because I just like it. Yeah, I just wanted to watch it.
Also, that was a great dance, Ken.
Oh yes, good job.
And you and Tim were
I've been
in the
seeing it
back.
at lots of parties.
That dance was
Everyone's
choreographed
learning it
by
and doing it.
Tim Sicardo.
Tim Sicardo and Monica, right?
And
Yeah.
Monica.
I mean, he really took the lead
Wow.
on choreographing that.
Yeah.
For Aqua Cerulean, press 2. For Arcadia, press 3.
Are you proud to have your name on this, Patrick?
Oh, yeah, I'm very proud to have my name on it. I love it.
Is your cop dad gonna come come give me a hard time about?
No, I think we're all in the clear with my cop parents.
Is he proud? Did he say, "All right, it's okay that you didn't become a cop. I forgive you.
No, he
Maybe
said,
your
"There's
gun is
still
a
time."
pen, and your handcuffs are final draft 8."
Good commentary, Tristram.
Thank you.
Thank you for all
Yeah,
that,
very
all that
good.
knowledge, Tristram.
Good job shooting everything.
great.
Thanks for putting the cameras where you put them.